The challenge right now is called Little Things. You're going to be sent on a mission to find a little thing, something that is worthless, but also priceless to you. Any object that you were given, you found, you received, you have kept, even though you couldn't get a buck for it at a garage sale. For me, it's an old toffee tin that became a cookie tin my mother would send me with fresh baked Christmas cookies when I returned to California to work in the theater. So go around your house and find an object you could hold in your hand that is worthless and yet priceless. Some of you are panicking, but my story isn't interesting. I don't have anything interesting. I'm not interesting. Confess the stress and think. We're going to give you 2 minutes to do this at the max. If you come back early, if everyone comes back early, then the host, the first mate, can right away start off on people sharing their object, their little thing, and their story. But if you are still panicking and you walk around your house and you can't think of anything, consider your purse. Consider the little stubs of paper and cards in your wallet that will hold a story. Consider your keychain. Your keychain might have a little fob on it from a trip you took a long time ago, and you may even have keys on your keychain that no longer work, but you just don't want to let go of them. Same thing for what's in your purse, what's in your wallet. There might be a photo in your wallet of somebody from long ago that you just can't get rid of it. But whatever object you find in your house or your office, it should essentially be worthless to the world and priceless to you. Because these objects hold a power and a memory. They hold a story. Good hunting. You have a 2 whole minutes, so let your mind go to work. We were day hiking in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains in early spring when I saw a huge pipeline for water snaking down through the hills. It was made of wood and steel hoops, like a barrel. As we got closer, I saw the pipe had a leak, and it was spraying water about 16 feet in the air and leaning a little bit to the south. I saw that the spray had formed in frozen water an egg-shaped tower. It was about 16 feet high. It was made of white ice. The egg looked like there was a hole in the top. I climbed up the steel support rings. I walked uphill to the spray, and there was a 3-foot diameter hole in the dome. I took off my belt and tied it as a tether to the steel hoop, and then holding onto the belt, I leaned over and I looked into the dome. It wasn't white ice on the inside. It was blue. There was a strong blue glow from sunlight coming through the blue ice. The floor of the dome was rocks and earth, and in the middle of that room was a single small tree. It was about 6 feet tall, perfectly still. It was perfectly safe. I wanted to go into this magical place, but my fiancée, waiting below outside, called up, "How are you going to get out of there?" So I took some photos, but none of them captured the magic. The real photo is in my mind, and it's still there decades later. I want you to think of a place you've been that was magical. It could be man-made, like the Taj Mahal in Moonlight. Or do you remember Christmas Toyland in an old-fashioned department store? It could be natural, like a viewpoint, or a national park, or a canyon, or a hidden cove that you discovered. If you have a brain freeze, you can pass until others have shared their story, and that will spark memories in you. Or, if you've never been in a magical place, tell them the truth, or make one up. It doesn't matter. The point is not to impress the others. The point is simply to share. Now, the first mate will ask for volunteers and make sure everyone gets a chance. My story was complete, and it took 80 seconds. So, first mate, I suggest you put a time limit on a minute and a half of each player to tell their story of a magical place. If you have a lot of players, you can take some stories now, and then give those others another story challenge to lead in the next time. First mate has the helm. Carry on with your story circle. Where are you from? Now, at work and school, people sometimes ask, "Where are you from?" in a passive-aggressive way, implying, you aren't from around here. You're a foreigner. But where are you from can be a deeper question. We're from our families. We're from our experiences. We are from our past. We are all children of our childhoods. I grew up in a land of summer, a land of lakes and orchards and hills and big families and watermelon seed spitting contests. Where are you from? Grab a pen or open a chat box and just jot down what comes to you about the summers of your childhood. Summer. What images come to mind of summers in your childhood? Coping with the heat, water activities, summer foods, family vacations, games you would play in the summer, wars you would fight in the neighborhood, special treats in the summer, adventures on your bicycle, in your fort or treehouse or your hiding place, the beach, fishing or hunting, or picking fruit. Come up with 1 to 3 of your strongest memories. If you have a brain freeze, say pass until others have shared their story, and those stories will spark memories in you. The point is not to impress the others. The point is simply to share where you are from. We are all children of our childhoods. The first mate will ask for volunteers and make sure everyone gets a chance. If time is a factor, then you can time limit with timers the players to 90 seconds each. If you have a lot of players, you can take some stories now and give others the lead in the next game. Everybody has scars, and many scars have a story, and many stories involve scars. So here's my best scar story. When I was 10, I rode my brother's bike down Black Rock Hill. I was too short for the bike's pedal brakes. I couldn't hit them, hard anyway. I was heading for a cliff at the hairpin turn, so I wiped out. I smashed my jaw in 3 places. I was soaked with blood. Tourists coming by in a car found me. They put me in their car and they drove off looking for the local hospital. But being tourists, they didn't know where the local hospital was. And I could not tell them because my jaw was broken. My jaw was wired shut to the relief of my whole family, and I was laid up in my room for 5 weeks with my jaw wired shut. I wasn't allowed to play contact sports. So I started to read books. I read, and I read, and I read, and I read, and when I went back to school in the fall, I was suddenly reading years ahead. So during all of the English classes, my teacher sent me to the library. And I ended up in grade 4 reading all 3 volumes of The Lord of the Rings, but I actually read them in reverse order. But by becoming a reader, I became a writer. So my scar reminds me that good things can come out of difficult circumstances. Now there's the physical kind of scar, and there's the emotional kind, the soul scars. The easiest scars to talk about are the physical, because physical pain does not last, and a scar is a sign of healing. But scars, all kinds of scars, are evidence of healing. Some of you think, yeah, but I don't have any dramatic scars and no stories. It doesn't matter. Because in every challenge we do, there's only a handful of players that end up sharing something special, but we all share something, and that is the most important. And you're not going to hit the bullseye every time. And as always, you can always say, pass. Now, if you have a better tattoo story than a scar story, then share that. First mate, if you have more than 7 players, you might have to break out the rooms of 3 and 4. And if time allows, after each team hears and affirms every other story, then you could vote on the best tale from their team in the breakout and share that best story from each team, retelling it in front of all the others in the main room. The first mate has the helm. Tell your story.